Hey everyone, it's everyone's favourite noise producer in UK Noise Wall here with another video. And today I thought I'd do something a little different and just kind of go through my discography from because I just started making music this year, 2022, at the time of this video. And I've never really, I've never done music until then. I'm still new to this whole fucking thing. So I thought it would maybe be an interesting thing to go through all my releases so far and just kind of talk about them and you know, uh, almost kind of like a self-reflective, retrospective sort of thing. Um, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Quite a few albums here, some singles as well, some stuff that's in progress, and one little thing here that is no longer a thing, which I'll talk about maybe as well. But you know, um, yeah, I think it'd be cool to just kind of go through everything and just talk about it. What I think of it, what I think of how well I've done things and how things have changed and all that shit. So yeah, I guess we'll just go through everything and we'll just talk about it. And if you're interested, then stay stay here and listen to me talk. And if you're not, then you can go do something better with your time, I guess. So, so first we've got this little track here, which I'm surprised anyone's bought because it's shit. This is the first track we ever did. Uh, Rightfully titled Yuki's First Noise Wall. The album cover, I just got a picture of a lolly from fucking Is the Sword or a Rabbit, and I just put a filter on it. Because I was a lazy bastard, and I was like, I don't really care. you know, I didn't really care what I was doing at the time. Um, I didn't really know what I was doing at the time either. This whole fucking thing was just like, I'm bored. I want to do something. I'm gonna just make some harsh noise wall. I didn't ever expect this to become like a full on thing. I just thought I'm gonna make a track for fun, and we'll see where it goes. So I got some TV static, and I put it in Ableton, and then I put a bunch of filters on it and fucked around with it, and we ended up with this thing. I don't think it's very good. I think it's pretty bad. But it is the first thing I ever made, and as a result, it stays on here forever, just as a kind of memory. This was also my very first profile picture, which is no longer anything close to what I have now. But yeah, this is alright. It's not very good, but and it ends really suddenly too. But it's my first ever thing I ever made, and for some reason, people have paid money for it. I don't know why, but you know, um, I enjoyed it. It was fun to make. I guess it's the start of everything. Uh, then we have this one, "Showering at Night," which was kind of the first track from our upcoming. At the time, it was our upcoming EP. Um, for this, I basically got. I took a sample of my shower running, and then I turned it into Harsh Noise Wall, which was kind of the it was kind of the whole concept of my very first EP album or whatever you want to call it. It ended up being an album, I'm pretty sure, but I called it an EP here. Um, Again, I took some anime art and just put a fucking green filter on it because I didn't have any creativity whatsoever. Um, and yeah, and I also put on a stupid joke here. Rituals made the shampoo and my hair needing washed was the samples and yeah. And it was 13 minutes, which is really long. I actually really like this track. I think it's one of the better ones from my earlier work. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So there's that. And then we have the first actual album, which is Everyday Harsh Noise Wall, or Everyday HNW. I actually really want to make a sequel to this now that I've gotten better at making stuff, because like I think the idea behind this, don't know if the mic picked up, was my cat jumping over the baby gate. Anyway, I think the idea behind this album is really cool, because it's like I basically took samples of like everyday things in my life and I turned it into like Harsh Noise Wall. I think that's a really cool idea. So like for example, we had showering at night, which was like the shower shit, and then we had putting clothes in the washing machine, which was like samples of a washing machine being filled up with clothes and doing like a wash cycle, and then it got turned into noise, and that was really cool. I mean, I'll play a little bit here. It's like really, I really like the ambience on this track. It's pretty cool. I'd say it's like the best thing on here. It's probably the only track on here that's actually like worth listening to now. Cooking dinner for two was like me fucking, cooking samples, like cooking some mince in a pot and turning it into noise. Driving was like sounds of traffic, which was interesting, but you can fucking tell that it's like traffic, which is kind of cool. This is just the first Noise Wall track, but it's renamed to Static on the TV. Ironing, and this one was like, it's like a sample of like a kid's, like a baby's lullaby thing, the little thing that plays the lullaby, and that was like really ambient and cool. And I remember I played this for my wife, and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you making this?" She was like really, she was really confused. She was like, "Is this even fucking music?" And I'm like, "No, not really." But yeah. She was pretty confused with this whole thing. She still kind of is. She's like, "Oh, you make music? That's cool. Why does it all sound like static? It sounds like our kid's white noise machine." But yeah, I really, I don't particularly like this album. It's probably the worst album I've done, but I do think it's cool. It's a cool concept, and I'd love to go back to it with like a sequel or something, like Everyday Harsh Noise Wall 2 or something like that, which I'm considering doing, but it's not like high up on the list. I have like a notepad file, and it's got like ideas that I could do for it, but yeah. But I mean, some people apparently really liked it. I do remember seeing some terrible reviews as well, saying like, "Oh, this is poorly made" and all that stuff. Which it is. It's a poorly made album. It's my first album ever. But it's a nice little memory, and I think the idea behind it is pretty cool, if anything. And the cover art is kind of iconic for me. Like it's one that I always remember doing, even if it's not very good. Just a slice of life anime with like a green follower on it, but it's cool. I look at this cover and I'm like, yeah, that's the one. That's the first album, So yeah, there's that. Financial Difficulties is a single from the next EP that I did. Basically I took samples of me dropping coins on top of each other and turned it into noise. And it's supposed to be like a track that like symbolizes like the struggles that come with like struggling financially and shit. It's not very good. I'll play a little bit, I guess. But listen, you can kind of hear the dropping of the metal and stuff. Um, but yeah, I think it's a cool idea, and I took this stupid fucking art of like a homeless anime girl in a box, and edited the shit out of it, and it looks really bad. Yeah, early UK Noise Wall album covers aren't very good, unfortunately, but you know, that's what it is. And then we've got Struggle Sounds, an album that I actually really like. This was my first attempt at like a concept album kind of thing. It's I think it's very hit or miss, but I do like it. For the cover, I got a fucking again I got a fucking lolly, a sad lolly, and I put filters on it and stuff. And this was my profile picture for a long time. I did a few edits of it as well. Got a few edits made for me from people who, yeah, people who don't talk to me anymore, but they were like, I'll make you a profile picture edit thing, and it was cool. But yeah, I've changed the whole branding now, but yeah, Juggle Sounds is cool. Every song, sorry, on the album is like a fucking expression of like bad things, struggles I have. So, there's like financial difficulties, there's like night terrors, which I have, there's like me not having any talent, which is true. I'm not very good at anything I do music wise. Panic attacks, suicide ideation, Tourette's, depression. I think Depression's a really good track. It's like a 16-minute long fucking noise track with like ambient sections and stuff. It's really fucking cool. And Body Dysmorphia. And like, I got pretty creative with the samples and stuff. Like, here I got like samples of me like breathing heavily and stuff and moving around. No fucking talent. I got a bunch of amen breaks from when I tried to make breakcore one time and just went fuck it and just turned it into noise. Panic attacks was like me breathing into a microphone. Tourette's, I created this fucking ambient thing and like I fucked about with it and made it, tried to like simulate like a tic attack. Because like I thought it was pretty effective. A lot of people really liked that track. Thought it was cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a cool album. It's definitely not my best work. But it is a cool album, and it's the first album I ever sent to a label, even though it got taken off the label because reasons that still make zero sense to me to this day, but it is what it is. At least it's still here. This is also the album that I submitted to that label where this is the track, Financial Difficulties. The track was like, there was a mistake in it, and it was like the first 5 seconds of the track and nothing else, and they just put it up anyway, didn't even check it, but yeah. Struggle Sounds is cool. I actually recommend starting with this one because it's the first, like, I'd say this is the first real UK Noise Wall album. But yeah. Tools of, there's Knives actually, yeah. Knives, I got samples of knives like sliding against each other, turned it into dark ambient noise, not much else to say. Cover art, I got some manga art of a fucking chick with a knife, and I quite like it. It's pretty cool looking. Yeah, not much else to say. Tools of Torment, yeah, for this one I basically fucking got a bunch of household objects that are very dangerous, and I sampled them and turned it into noise. Got a picture of one of my favourite characters from Magical Girl site who likes to use these kind of tools on herself. Yeah, it's a very depressing album, but it's pretty cool. Knives is here obviously. Staples, razor blades. Razor blades is cool because I got like I like ran a razor blade across a guitar string and then turned it into noise. And that's pretty cool. Fingernails was just like scratching, and pills was like a pill box. People who have reviewed this really liked pills. Think it's like really effective and how it ends and stuff, which I was really happy with. I've got a lot of good reviews on this one. I wouldn't say it's like my favourite album, but it's got some cool reviews on it, some really, really nice, glowing reviews, and I'm like, it's nice that some people enjoyed it, so I'm glad. I probably would never do a follow-up to this one, just because I feel like I've kind of exhausted the topic, but, yeah, my first kind of EP, and it's pretty cool. I enjoyed making it. We have here. This one's fucking weird. So this was this is the second split I ever did with Abyssal Rock Music, who is still a good friend of mine. He still works with me and still collabs with me all the time. He's a good dude. One of the few people who's worked with me that actually still works with me. Yeah. And he's another like cross dresser, like trap, like me, which is cool. So like we have a lot in common and stuff. Which is why we did this album together. We called it Femboy Fuckery. I originally wanted to call it Femboy Fuck Shit, and he was like, "No, we're not calling it that because I don't like the word shit." And I'm like, "Alright, so we'll call it Femboy Fuckery, I guess." Then we did a track each. He did a kind of noise kind of track, and I did like a more ambient, like kind of beautiful ambient track. For this one actually, what I did is I took samples from a Blood on the Dance Floor song, their song Bewitched, because I think that song has a cool like beat, and I basically like cut it up and turned it into like noise, and it created this weird like dreamy like ambient sort of thing, and it turned out really cool. As my friend Matthew says here, Matthew reviews everything I do. He's a good guy. He's like, it sounds more like an ambient noisy movie score than Harsh Noise Wall. And I think that's really cool. Yeah, I really think that he sums it up really well. But yeah, this was my second split, and I enjoyed working on it. It was fun. One of my better ones, and we've got a cute little boy here, cute little femboy here. Yeah, this is when I started kind of getting into like more. I'm a trap, by the way. And that's who I am, and that's my aesthetic now. So that's kind of cool. So yeah. I guess now is the time for me to go to this one here, because of what's coming next. So this album is actually a lost media now. I'm the only person in the world, I believe, who actually has access to this album now, because the person who worked on it with me, they went on an insane fucking like tirade against me, because they didn't like my opinions on like political stuff, and they didn't like that I was a fan of like lollycore music and stuff. I mean, that should have been obvious given the title of their track, but I thought it was like a meme and a joke. It wasn't. They were completely serious with their track title, which is a shame because their track's actually really cool. I mean, I can play it because it's like fucking Harsh Noise Wall stuff. It's really good. This artist has like since disappeared from the internet. I don't know what happened to them. They had fucking beef with me for a bit. I just kind of ignored them because I don't care. And then they like quit music. Like they deleted all their stuff. Their Bandcamp still exists for like their main profile, their main like project or whatever, but they haven't uploaded anything since like April or something. April, maybe like June. I don't fucking know. I don't remember. They haven't done anything in a while anyway, and then they just kind of like disappeared, and their SoundCloud's gone, their Instagram is gone, everything is gone. So I don't know what happened to them. I don't really care either, but you know, it's a bit weird. You know, they kept saying stuff like, "Oh, UK, you're never gonna get anywhere. You're gonna give up music, and no one's gonna care about anything you do, and you suck, and I hate you." And it's December now. I'm still here. My label's still running, still going. I'm still making music. I'm probably bigger than I've ever been, to be honest. So yeah, bit of a shame. I really liked this split. Wasn't too big on the cover art, but you know, it was their idea. So I was like, you know, whatever. On you go, kid. That's what they are. They're a kid. They're like fucking 19 or something. So yeah. You know, it's a shame, but yeah, there you go. There's a little peek into some lost UK Noise Wall material. But it's not all lost, because then shortly after I made this EP here called So Sick You'll Vomit, and I took my track from that split and I re-released it on my own. It's a really cool track. It's like dark ambient noise. It samples some more BOTDF, which is, you know, that was a thing I was doing at the time. I was sampling lots of BOTDF stuff, because you know, I figured, why not, you know, let's make some ambient shit with their music, because you know, no, if someone's gonna do something with their fucking music, it should be me, and it should be me turning it into something that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, I really like this track. This is one of my best tracks, actually, if I'm being honest. And then what I did, this is kind of funny. I took Feeling Evil's track from the split, you know, the one that I played a minute ago. I took their track and I remixed it and turned it into my own song, basically. I chopped it up into pieces, I remixed it, and I made it more noisy, and I basically created my own song out of their song, and I titled it Dissecting and Eating Anti-Lolly Vampire Scum, because they're the kind of person that would go around and say, I'm a fucking vampire, I'm part of the vampire gang, I'm fucking, you know, and I'm like, so, you know, if you're going to say dissecting and eating lolly scum, I'll be like, well, I'm dissecting and eating a vampire scum. And what a track it was. Almost 35 minutes of noise. Yeah, as Matt says here, it's if a brand new track meant to ruffle some feathers. He's not wrong. Yeah, I like this EP. It's pretty cool, and the cover art's not very good, but everything else about it's pretty cool. One of my better releases. I wish more people listened to it. It's pretty cool, but I understand that it's also like an hour long. People don't really have time for an hour long EP sometimes, but yeah, I enjoyed this one. It was good fun. We have Yuki on the Dance Floor, which is a shitpost track, basically. I basically took an instrumental from a Blood in the Dance Floor track, and I remixed it with like reverb and noise, and turned it into complete fucking nonsense. It sounds terrible. Let me play Yeah, it's it's not very good. But it is a shitpost kinda. I was kinda thinking maybe one day I would do like a fucking like a a whole album of stuff like that, like me just like making like noise bootlegs of like BOTDF instrumentals and calling it like UK on the dance floor or something like that. But maybe I'll do like a side project called that or something, and I'll just do one for like every album that the BOTDF ever did. You know, that could actually, that's actually a pretty fucking funny idea. I think I might do that. But yeah, that's the thing. And I got the cute little dancing, like teddy bear lolly, cover, which I think is pretty cute. But it's just a fucking meme track. It's not very good, but it's funny, and you know some people actually liked it. So yeah, there you go. Here we've got my third split with one of my best friends, Lord Cernunnos. Lord Cernunnos is an absolutely fantastic harsh noise wall producer. He is one of my best friends in the community. He is an absolute pleasure to work with, both as an artist and on his label Yuri Society. He's a fucking chill dude. He's so nice. He's just so nice to me, and he's always been really supportive of me. We're very similar people. We like similar things. We have similar aesthetics. We're both into like, you know, anime girls, and we both make noise, and we're both edgy, and we both have like, you know, multiple side projects and stuff. We get on very well for a reason, and we work together. We've worked together a few times, and every time he's worked with me, he's been an absolute pleasure to work with. And he keeps making stuff all the time. He's always making stuff, whether it be for Lord Cernunnos or Lord Gorgoroth or Kino Field Recordings. He's always making stuff all the time, and I always listen to it the minute it drops, because everything he does is just so entertaining and fun. And I genuinely think he's one of the more underrated producers in this scene. Like, I wish he would get more followers, because he's been here a long time, and he really deserves the love, if I'm being honest. So I'll always push his stuff. And you know, like, before I even like talked to him and stuff and did music with him and stuff, I was listening to him like just as a listener, you know, and I never thought we'd become friends. So I think it's really nice that I've actually become friends with someone whose music I enjoy. That's really nice and really cool. So yeah, you should check out Lord Cernunnos' stuff if you haven't already. But I'm sure if you're watching my channel, you probably already know who he is and you already follow him. But yeah, as for the release itself, the title is kind of funny. You know, we just split up the two names. So his track was called Anime Girls with Fangs, or Even a Fang or Heart, and mine was Lolly Vampire Gang Massacre Incident. His track was like just kind of like it's like a calming kind of ambient track. It was very static, but it's really cool. And it's, you know, it's got a cute title and stuff. And for me, I don't even fucking remember how I made this one. I'm pretty sure I got like I got like a bunch of beats and stuff. I made some beats and I turned it into noise. This is when I kind of started doing like my hip hop and noise wall sort of stuff. So like if I play it a little bit here. You know, like I started making like hip hop beats, and like I was like chopping up samples and stuff, and like, you know, putting them on loop and stuff, and then turning it into noise. That's when I kind of started doing that sort of stuff, which is what I do now, kind of. Like now, the stuff I do now is, I describe it as like hip hop noise wall, where I make like hip hop samples, and I fucking turn it into noise or whatever. This was another track making fun of the Vampire Gang folk. And I actually got that heat for this one. Fucking Mr. Feeling Evil decided to comment on my SoundCloud like, haha, you fucking don't use our fucking name in your fucking stuff. And I was like, I'll do what I want. And then I deleted his comment and I carried on with my life. But yeah, For here, I got my waifu Yui, and I turned her into a red filter album cover. I got the idea because of Lord Cernulus' track name. She's a vampire. She's got a fang. She's an anime girl with a fang. So yeah, I like this split. I'm really happy with it. It was really fun to make, and yeah, there we go. Um, Next we have cute girls doing cute things. I love the idea behind this album. Uh, I basically, so for the album cover, I got one of my waifus, fucking the girl from, what do you call it? Happy Sugar Life. Which was my favourite anime. I turned her into like an album cover, and that was pretty cute and cool. And I just made fucking 3 tracks. So I got a sample of Jesus, my throat. Sorry. I got a sample of like an anime girl like crying. I turned it into noise. And then here I got like, I don't even fucking remember. I just tried to make it like headache inducing. And then for overdose, I got like I tried to create a sound that was basically just like of someone like overdosing on like pills. And yeah, it's very dark, very evil, very unsettling. And I did this for like Bandcamp Friday. This is the first kind of EP that I did for like a Bandcamp Friday, which I try to do every Bandcamp Friday. I try to do like a little EP to just kind of be like, yay, new music, and maybe you'll buy it. So yeah, I like this album so much that I did a sequel, which I'll talk about later. Then we have Cute Cannibalism, which is another EP that I did. I got some royalty-free artwork of an anime cannibal girl. I put some fillers on it. Now this album, I'd say this album was the turning point for me, because so there's actually a little story behind this album. So first of all, this album was supposed to be, the 4 tracks in this album were supposed to be part of a split of another noise artist, whose name was like Arsonist or something. I can't fucking remember her name. But you know, we were doing like a split. We had this planned for ages. We had the album cover. I made all the tracks. I had to change one of the track titles because Cute Cannibalism was originally Lolly Cannibalism, and the label we were submitting to was like, oh, can you change that to something else, because just the word is triggering to some fucking sensitive people. So I was like, alright, I'll make it Cute Cannibalism. And Cute Cannibalism actually sounds better anyway, because it's got the whole like alliteration going on, Cute Cannibalism. So yeah, and every single track had like a story behind it. And this is when I came up with my original character, Yoko the Cannibal, who's like a cannibal anime girl who like goes to school and shit, and like she eats people, and she's a serial killer, and there's a whole fucking story behind it all. And this track, Cute Cannibalism, was like an introduction to that. You can read it all here. Yeah. And every single track on here has like has a story behind it. So this one here is like a story about Yoko eating a fucking fairy. And then we have like, what the hell is going on there? And then we have like the autosexual gore obsessed Picurus Yandere, who's like a yandere who's like obsessed with herself instead of someone else. And she's like, you know, she stalks herself, and like she loves herself, and she fucking self harms and all that shit. It's edgy shit. And then there's this one here, which is about a woman who hears voices in her head and they just won't stop. And I created all of these stories, and then created like music to tell them, sort of thing. The split though ended up getting canned because the person I was working with didn't like my story concepts. She was very uh, like she wasn't a fan of like how gory and how edgy they were, which is fine, I suppose. But at the same time, it's like very standard horror kind of stuff. Like I don't really know how you can be a harsh noise wall artist and be grossed out or be like, you know, um, what's the word, like, I don't know, be like, oh, this is too edgy. It's fucking harsh noise. You're making noise music. Like, noise music is known for being overly edgy and crazy and violent, you know. To me, this is no different than something like Cannibal Corpse, who have written and told stories that are way worse than any of this shit. But, you know, and they are one of my inspirations for my edgy stuff. I like Cannibal Corpse's horror storytelling and stuff, so, you know, I tried to kind of put that into my own stuff. But yeah, sound wise, this album's really cool. It's like my first kind of major like hip hop noise wall with like a story behind it, and there's like, you know, there's all like fucking dark ambient stuff in there. There's chopped up stuff. It's really cool. I really, I'd say this is probably one of my favorite albums. Cute Cannibalism is one of my best tracks I've ever made. Um, I really fucking like it. I really like this album. I'm very proud of it, and it's probably one of my best. So yeah, if you're ever gonna listen to anything I do, please listen to this one. This is the turning point for me. This is when my stuff started to get more interesting, in my opinion. But of course, I'm not saying my stuff is good or anything like that. I don't think I'm particularly good at what I do or that anything I make is actually good. But, you know, if there's anything I've made I am proud of, it's probably this one. Then we have Anime Horror Noise Tape, which is kind of the same sort of deal as Cute Cannibalism. It's 5 tracks. All of them are kind of horror stories, self-contained horror stories. I submitted this to Vaporscape Records, and it's still on there. It's one of the few things I've submitted to a label that hasn't been taken off that label yet. Vaporscape are a great label. They like me. They're run by my friend, Sad Unicorn. And I was their very first noise release, and yeah, it went well. People really enjoyed it. I've had people tell me this is my most cinematic noise release that I've done. I can agree with that, yeah, for sure. You know, all the tracks here are cool. They've got cool stories. They're all very varied and different. It ends with a 14-minute Yoko track. This is when I started doing like the Yoko tracks, because I I have the Yoko albums, which I want to make, but for like compilations and stuff and like just occasional albums, I'll do like a Yoko, what I call a Yoko track, which is basically I take my original character Yoko and it'll be like a story about her doing something. So this one is like Yoko bakes cannibal cupcakes, and it's a whole song about Yoko baking cupcakes out of people, which is really edgy and dumb, but you know, it works, and everyone loves this track that has listened to this album, which I think is really nice. So this is when I started doing more Yoko stuff, and I really enjoy making. Whenever I make a Yoko track, I really put my all into it. The Yoko tracks are my favorite to make, for sure. So yeah, there's that album. I'd say check this one out. It's cool. I like, and read the stories. You know, I put a lot of effort into my stories for like my albums whenever I do a concept album. So yeah, check it out. It's cool. I'd love to get this on tape one day too, just because of the title. But we'll see. That'll probably never happen. Here we've got another split of abyssal rock music. Wrath of the Zombies. Not a big fan of the title, but you know, it was supposed to be like a kind of spooky split kind of thing. even though we released it in July. But he wanted to do like a spooky album, so I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll do a spooky album. So I did Night of the UK Dead, and he did Scary Moon Dance. He took a bunch of samples from like I think it was from like horror movies and stuff. I'll let you play it actually. It was pretty cool stuff. Really, really good. It's one of his better tracks. It fits well with my stuff. I think I had Night of the UK Dead, which I got fucking dance like samples and stuff. I think I got them from the Master of Death project actually. Yeah, I did. And I turned it into noise. That was pretty cool. Abyssal Rock Music did the cover art for it. I was never quite sure what this was meant to be, but it looked cool as fuck, so I just went, yeah, okay. So yeah, Wrath of the Zombies is pretty fun. It's a good album, good little split. Then we had Cute Girls Doing Cute Things 2, which is another EP for Bandcamp Friday. Yeah, it's just another Cute Girls Doing Cute Things album. It's a sequel. Cute Girl During the Cute Sea is pretty awesome. Cute Girl Suffering from Cute Brain Zaps is like very brain zap inducing, and then you've got Robo Tripping on Cute DXM. I enjoyed making this. It was fun as fuck. It didn't take me very long to make, but you know, I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. And I'll probably do a third one at some point. Oh yeah, and I thought to keep with the theme I'd make another Happy Sugar Life album cover, and I'll probably do the same with the third one. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Next we have Total Bullshit the Anime, which is my... So the story behind this one is my friend Lost Frog Productions, he made an album cover that was for an album that did not exist. He just thought, I'm gonna make an album cover, and it's gonna be for a theoretical album. So this album didn't exist. He just made the cover because he was bored, and then I was like, hey, that's a really cool cover. I want to use it, so I'll just make the album a real thing, and I did, and I worked on this for a long fucking time. Like I spent a good month working on this. This is probably my very my most ambitious album. It's 11 tracks. All of the stuff here is supposed to be like really angry and reflective and ambient. I made like hip hop beats and stuff. As Matthew says here in his review, it's almost tuneful. Yeah, I really tried to do that, and I'm glad I can be his favourite noise artist. That's really nice of him to say. But yeah, I made a bunch of stuff here that I'm really proud of. Athena is a pretty cool track, very personal to me. Total Bullshit the Enemy is just fucking crazy noise. Better Off Dead was like dubstep kind of noise wall. Oh, I didn't mean to pull it. Kawaii Anime Girl Demands Your Energy. I took a bunch of fucking samples from like Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb tunes and turned it into fucking noise. Shallow as Coward. That's a bit of a diss track towards someone with a very similar name. Deepest Something. They've since left the internet too. Yeah. This was just a fucking meme track. This was pretty crazy and loud and stuff. So was this one. And this was like my kind of sad personal one. Oops, didn't mean to click that. And then this is when I introduced Pukey Noise Wall to the world with a bonus track. Another Yoko track. And I introduced my side project in here, Pukey Noise Wall, which I'll get to next. But yeah, Total Bullshit, The Enemy is one of my better albums. I enjoy it. I enjoy making it a lot. I absolutely love the cover art. Like, Harrow's cover art is so good. Which is the whole reason I made it, is I wanted to use the cover art. So I was like, yeah, I'll make an album for that. Fuck it. Yeah. And I've seen some reviews for this that weren't very kind, and I'm like, yeah, all right. I feel like people who negatively talk about my noise music don't really understand the point of it. Like the point of this whole thing is I'm making music that is supposed to be shit. That is the whole point. Like, I'm making disgusting, loud, degenerate noise music. It's not supposed to be tuneful or good. It's supposed to be like noisy, eardrum crushing, vapid shite. That's the whole point of the UK Noise Wall as a project. If you're coming to this music for looking for quality, I don't think you know what noise music is, and you should probably, I don't know, go listen to more noise music instead of like going, oh, it's so static and it hurts my head. Yeah, that's the point, you know. But yeah, yeah, whatever. You should check this one out. It's pretty cool, I guess. Then we have the first EP from my side project, Pukey Noise Wall, which is a terrible pun, but Pukey Noise Wall is basically me taking my usual noise shit and just turning it into like complete disgusting vomit and bile. Yeah, there's not much else to say about it. It's disgusting bullshit. So, like, you know, play it. You get the fucking idea, you know. I'm not gonna blow my fucking speakers out and fucking destroy your ears with that shit, but, you know, it's supposed to be like really unsettling and disgusting and horrible. That's why we have, you know, song titles like The Sound of Suicide and Throwing Up Blood All Over the Fucking Room. The whole point of this project is to disgust people and make them feel horrible and be horrible, and that's what it does. I mean, the fucking EP is literally called the Shit Vomit Noise EP. So yeah, there you go. I really like this EP. I think it's cool. I think it was funny as fuck to make. Because I just fucking made like vomit bullshit, made it into an album. You know. So yeah, I like it. It's funny. And then we have 92811111111. I got the idea for this from Lord Cernanos, who took numbers from the periodic table to create album covers, and then so like you go to the periodic table and you look up 92 and it will be a letter. You look up 8, it will be a letter. You look up 1, it will be a letter, and it will spell out a word. The word is oh, you know, which is the whole oh cunny meme. And the songs were the same. So this song is called Yui's Cunny, and this song is called Gatsby's Bussy. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty stupid and immature, but I thought it was funny. It's funny as fuck. So, and I put this on Yuri Society because of course I did, because it was Lord Chen and this is idea, the whole periodic table thing, so I thought, you know, I'll put it on Yuri Society, fuck it. You know. It's a very what do you call it? It's not the best album. It's kind of just a kind of short, like kind of noise job that I did, but it's fun. I enjoyed making it, and I think the meme behind all the titles is really funny. Fucking hell. I don't know how many people actually like did the thing, and checked it, but I'm sure people were very mad at the titles. I thought it was funny. It's a funny meme album. It's enjoyable. Uh, then we have Yoko's Halloween Night, which has probably one of my favorite album covers I've ever had. I made this with AI art, and like, look at that shit. It's fucking great. It made my OC real, which is cool. Like, I typed in a whole bunch of shit and it just gave me that, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. So this is just a Yoko Halloween themed album. I took samples of carving a pumpkin. I took some eating sweeties, and I took a bunch of. I don't even fucking remember what I did here. I think I took some like fucking horror samples or something. Yeah, this is a fun album. I really enjoyed making this for Halloween. It was good. It was cool. It was neat. And you know, it's a Yoko album, so I put a lot of effort into it. It was good fun. I'm very happy with this one, and I absolutely love the cover art. It's the best, probably the best cover art we have, besides Total Bullshit the Enemy. So yeah. We've got the most recent split I've done, which was with my friend Stranded. We did an album called Cute Horror from Tokyo. So he did a track, I did a track, he did another track, I did another track. Here I tried to do more kind of ambient, like depressive, like noise stuff, and it came out pretty cool. Yeah, there's not much else to say about it. It's a really cool split. Stranded's one of my best friends. He's one of the best noise producers in the scene right now. I love what he does. Everything he does is great. He releases on Endogenic all the time. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, and he really enjoys working with me, and I enjoy working with him. You should totally check out Stranded stuff. He's great. And yeah, he also did the album cover for this one too, which is really funny. It's a funny meme. But yeah, Stranded is basically just another version of me. He does noise. He likes anime chicks. He fucking likes being a degenerate and posting fucking edgy degenerate things. Stranded's really cool. Very talented dude as well. Then we've got On the Verge of Vomiting, which is my first album from Pukey Noise Wall. I think this is one of my best albums, if I'm being honest. We made the album art with AI art again, and it's all kind of vomity and disgusting and horrible looking. I like to call this purple haired chick Pukey. Just like, but yeah, you know, we've got all this shit in the background, fucking purple, drippy, vomity looking shit. It's a really cool cover. Very lucky to get something like that from fucking AI art, to be honest. And then we've got the tracks, which are all edgy, like vomit noise bullshit. I mean, look at the fucking titles. If there's ever an album that will get me cancelled, it will be this one. Especially the last track. I put in fucking... This album shouldn't be listened to anyone who's under 18, let's put it that way. It's very gory, very sexual, very violent. But I'm proud of it. I think it's a really fucking good album. You know, like I took a bunch of like metal, like death metal and grindcore samples and turned them into noise and all that kind of stuff. Even made a few little drum loops myself. This one here, I took the Cannibal Corpse song with a similar title and turned it into noise, which is cool. Yeah. Pukey Noise Wall LP is pretty cool. One of my better works. And there's going to be more Pukey Noise Wall coming eventually. And then, last but not least, we have the Yoko Files, which is going to be an ongoing series. Basically, any Yoko tracks that don't make it to like an album that go on like Patreon or go on like compilations or other labels and stuff. That's all gonna get put into a Yoko files eventually. Love the album cover here. It's my cute little Yoko. This track was originally on Tsundere Violence's compilation. This is on Yuri Society's 100th release, and this was a Patreon exclusive. So it's basically going to be me like compiling a bunch of stuff, and yeah, whenever I get enough for Volume 2 will happen. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Yuki Noise Wall of 2022. I do have one more album in progress. It's not finished yet, but I guess I can show you guys. This is going to be probably the last album I do this year, if I finish it. It's the first album in a series of concept albums about Yoko. So I've already made the cover art for it, which is really cool. I really like it. And I've got all the track titles created. I just need to actually finish making them. Only finished one of them so far. Yeah, and there's a whole storyline that's going to come with this, and I hope you will all enjoy it, because it's going to probably be the best thing I've ever read. Not that that's saying much, but yeah. And there we go. There's the whole retrospective hour-long chat about the Yuki Noise Wall discography. I know it's probably not the most interesting thing to talk about, but yeah, there we go. There's everything I've released and what I think of it. If you haven't checked out all of these, you should, maybe, if you want, if you're interested in it. If not, that's fine too. Like I said, I don't really think I'm good at what I do, but I am having fun with it, and I think this is, for a first year, this has been a pretty good little collection of things. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I just thought it'd be a cool idea to just kind of go through all my stuff and just talk about it. I'm probably gonna do something similar for like Indigenic, maybe. Or maybe I'll go through like other labels and other artists and talk about their music too. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Anyway, yeah, that's it for me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.